Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and today I am discussing the 20th anniversary slash birthday of the PlayStation 2. That is right, the PlayStation 2 is 20 years old. Do you feel old yet? I mean, if you're like me, if you're in my age group, I'm about 26. This was my second console, and I have so many memories with this system. I have so many. And it's one of my favorite consoles, and I feel like it's going to be one of my favorite consoles of all time for so many reasons. There's so many great games, so many just bonding moments with people, and things I remember based around events of that game. And I don't know, I just want to go through some of my favorite games that I grew up with and my experience with them, because it's not just going to be the usual top 10 list. I mean, I don't have 10 games here, I have 7. It's not even an even number. I just picked out a lot of the different games that had the biggest impact on my life and the most influential and the ones I have the most memories with. And surprisingly, my number one, I'm gonna say my number one is actually 2 games. It is Jam Pack and ATV Off-Road Fury. Now, ATV Off-Road Fury has one of the best soundtracks of any video game of all time. I mean, it's got like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. I don't remember if Audio Slave was on here or not. I don't know if they're even around yet. I'd always go to Crater Park. I was never really good at it. I would just go to the Crater Park and launch my guy off the giant ramps and see all the different tricks you could do. I mean, I would just spend hours driving around this game in free mode. I had so much fun, and I'll probably download and play it again on an emulator later on. It's that good. Definitely worth trying out. And all of these games I showed today, I highly recommend, except for this next one, to try out on an emulator, because PS2 emulators are out there. They're not that difficult to use, and you can really see the game in a whole new way. PlayStation Underground Jam Pack, and this is from the summer 2001 specifically. Now, the games on this were ATV Off-Road Fury, which I never played the demo because I don't believe I bought ATV Off-Road Fury because it was on the demo disc, but I think I just got it the same day I got my PlayStation 2. Cool Borders 2001. Now, I actually don't remember that game at all. I do remember MX 2002, and no, it was MX versus ATV Unleashed or something like that. I think it was just MX versus ATV. I don't know. There's so many of that different series that it's hard to remember. But MX versus ATV, you could like fly a plane and a helicopter, and you could have a monster truck and an ATV, obviously. And I never played the single player on that. I would just play split screen with my dad, and we'd get in like the helicopter or the monster truck, and we'd just drive around for hours listening to, again, the music and hanging out. It was such a fun game. Zone of the Enders, I don't remember. No, I remember playing the game as a kid. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was very confused. I just thought it was kind of cool looking. Star Wars Starfighter. Now, I played the shit out of that demo, but I never actually bought the game as a kid. I never got it. I recently got it on a couple of years ago, I got it on the PS2 at a yard sale, and very recently, I believe they gave it out on Games with Gold. So I'll actually have to play through that game, and I'm pretty excited. Red Faction, that's another game I really enjoyed and had to play when my parents weren't around because I wasn't allowed to play M-rated games yet, and I have my first M-rated game that I owned in this little stack over here, and I'll discuss that. But Red Faction was awesome. Klonoa 2, I always thought it was a weird game. I never quite understood it. I thought it was kind of fun as a kid, but I didn't really, I don't know, it was just all the characters were weird, and I don't know, I just wasn't used to platformers, surprisingly. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2. This game was super creepy to me as a kid, and really bloody to me at the time. I was like, oh my god, people are getting chopped up, and you're sucking people's blood, and it was definitely one of those games that I played when the parents weren't around. And Ico, I never liked Ico. I still don't. I'll try it again, but it's just a really long, drawn-out escort mission, and I always hated those in video games. But maybe I need to give it another shot. But oh man, just looking at all these games, it's just bringing back so many different memories. And I know there are other things in here as well. There's like videos and it's right here. I remember Gauntlet Dark Legacy. That was another game that I absolutely loved as a kid. and I still love that game to this day. If I found an arcade cabinet, I mean, there's all these things I'd get if I was really wealthy. That was one of them, an arcade cabinet of Gauntlet, because I loved it so much. And then they've got all the different merchandise you can get for Gran Turismo 3, and it was just so much fun to watch all these trailers over and over and over and think about what the game would be like and play these demos repeatedly. I miss when like almost every game had a demo. I don't know about you guys, but I loved it. Now, I'm not really going in order of when I got these in my life. I'm just kind of going based off of how strong the memory is. And Serious Sam, The Next Encounter, is a huge game in my life. It was the first rated M game that I owned, and it's still one of my favorites. There's one thing about it I don't like, in the fact that you can't save and split screen. That's the stupidest thing on the planet. You basically have to play through the whole game without stopping, or you have to pause it and turn off the TV and walk away and come back and keep playing. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Why is there not saving? I'm still pissed off to this day. But the game itself is phenomenal. If you haven't played any Serious Sam game, they're constantly cheap on Steam. Please pick it up during the next Steam sale. I'm definitely going to be doing a viewer playthrough, because it's like 20 players or something crazy like that. But Serious Sam is a series that I've always loved ever since I played this one. Now, as a kid, and even now, I rarely beat a game. I just don't have the time, and there's so many games that are constantly coming out, and I want to experience everything, you know? So because of that, like I said, I don't really beat games. And back when I was a kid, I kind of had gaming ADHD, or I would just kind of have fun with a certain aspect of the game. Like I said, in ATV Off-Road Fury and MX ATV, I would just drive around and had fun like that. And with Serious Sam, I only played the split screen, and whenever we were done playing, we had to restart again from the very beginning again, because there was no saving, so I never beat that game. But Katamari Damacy is one of the strangest games I've played ever, and it is one of my favorite games ever. This game holds a special place in my heart because it was one of the first games that I beat. And I remember I had been playing it for quite a while, over a long period of time, and then I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to sit down and beat this game. Because I kept going back to the older levels, trying to get all the things I was missing, and get all the different princes and the hidden gifts, but I was like, you know what, I am sick, I'm just going to hunker down and beat this game, because I had a really bad cold. So I sat down on my day off from school, my sick day, and I beat Katamari Damacy, and I was just so proud of myself. I don't know, it was a great experience, it was a fun game, and I was really sad when it was over. Really stressful game though, because you have all those time limits, and when you screw up, you have to redo the whole thing again. But I still recommend you pick this game up if you've got a Switch, or again, emulate it on your computer. Now, co-op is something that I've always loved as a kid, and still something that I love to this day. Multiplayer games are my favorite. And I'm not talking about multiplayer in the sense of multiplayer competition. I'm not talking about first-person shooters where you're just shooting a bunch of people online. I'm talking about playing cooperatively with friends. And this Dynasty Warriors 4 was it's still my favorite Dynasty Warriors game, and I played this so much split screen. It's crazy. I played an ungodly amount of hours of this game. And yeah, the combat is incredibly repetitive, but it was just so much fun. You could have like your own custom allies, and you could get your guy, and his weapon would evolve over time, and you'd get different costumes. Do you remember when you just got costumes and weapons by playing the game? Yeah, apparently most people don't remember that, but I certainly do with this game. And I just kept playing it and playing it and playing it because I wanted to unlock so many different things, and it was just so much fun. One of the first M-rated games, now not the first, I'm not sure if it was the first, I don't claim that, but definitely one of the most violent M-rated games, and one that definitely earned its M rating that I played, was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. This was, I believe, my first Grand Theft Auto I ever played, and again, I had no idea what I was doing as a kid, but it was just so much fun to drive around and shoot stuff and use the chainsaw like a psychopath. And I really liked driving the taxi and being the ambulance driver and even being a cop. And when I played Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5, I'm still sad that those things are missing. Now, I think you could still be a taxi driver in Grand Theft Auto 4. I don't remember correctly, but I know for a fact that it was a much bigger staple in this game. And I loved it. It was so much fun. It was this side activity that you could do for hours, and you'd earn money, and it was like a whole new game playing an ambulance driver or a taxi driver, even being a cop. I loved that part of the game, and I would just do that for a long time. And of course, the cheats in this game were a ton of fun too. And of course, the music is just so iconic, and I loved it even then as a little kid. I could appreciate how good the music was. And I still listen to a lot of that music today. Now, this game in particular, I don't know if I put the most hours in, but this series on the PS2, I can undoubtedly say that I put the most hours in, because this is a game series that it was just phenomenal. And we were all very upset when the newest iteration came out and was a hot pile of garbage. And then when the second one came out and was supposed to improve the fact that the first one was a hot pile of garbage. It was supposed to be an apology letter to all the fans that were very saddened by the first release. I'm talking about Battlefront. Now, Battlefront 1 and 2 for the PS2 or Xbox Original, I had a PS2, are masterpieces. They're absolute masterpieces. Instant action and setting up your entire playlist of what you want to play. Galactic Conquest. This was another game that I beat. I beat both of these. They were so much fun. They had unlimited gameplay. I played with my friends. I played with my dad. And I just had so much fun. I mean, playing for hours with my friends with the Jedi mode where you're all playing the Jedi and the Sith. The Heroes mode, I believe is what it was called. Oh my god. We just played that for hours. Just that same map over and over and over on rotation. I loved it. It was so great. And this one had the space battles. Oh, it was so good. You could just go on their ship and just mess stuff up. And you know, I actually liked the PSP one a bit. Not the Battlefront 2, but like the Rogue Squadron one, where you could customize your character and you could play online. That was so cool. Battlefront 2, by far, Battlefront 1 and 2, put in so many hours. Just so many. And I never got bored. I just wanted to keep playing them over and over and over. And that's the thing about these days. There are a few games that really put as many memories into my mind as like Battlefront 2 or, I mean, Dynasty Warriors isn't even as good anymore. Grand Theft Auto's missing features. Katamari Damacy doesn't exist anymore. Serious Sam 3 wasn't very good. Demo discs don't really exist anymore. I mean, it's amazing how much has really changed over the past 20 years. The last generation was great. This generation was just kind of a bummer. I mean, loot boxes and microtransactions and all these different things coming from mobile games infecting our modern games. You know, they say you've got rose-tinted glasses when you're looking back into the past at things you used to enjoy. But I feel like with modern gaming, it's not really rose-tinted glasses. It's true. There are a lot of things that are just kind of ruined or just not as good as they used to be. And I'm hoping that we're kind of in a slump right now and we'll get out of it, and EA will have learned its lesson with Star Wars, saying, oh, we can make a single-player game. Oh, we can't release a Battlefront game like that. It seems like companies are starting to take notice and actually start listening to thousands of voices that are constantly crying out each time they do something stupid. And maybe the companies that aren't listening will get pushed by the wayside. We'll see. I don't know. It's always voting with your wallet, and I feel like that's what we're just going to have to keep doing in the future. But I will always look back on the PlayStation 2 as one of my favorite consoles of all time, and I'll always have those special memories in my heart. Let me know in the comments down below what memories you have with the PlayStation 2, what one of your favorite consoles was from that generation, whether you had an Xbox that generation or a GameCube. I definitely wish I had both of those as well at the time. There's so many great games in those other two systems, and I didn't even really get to play GameCube until I was in college. So I definitely missed out on a lot of great stuff. But the PlayStation 2, even though I was like, oh, I wish I had those other two consoles too, had a lot of great games for it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys.